Must I say it again? I said it before. Move out the way as I'm coming through the door. Me, heavy, as light as a rock.
Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. And yes, you guys, if you rock with me every Monday, you know how I do. I have a special guest that I tell you a little bit about. And if you're new coming to my channel, thank you so much, and subscribe and hang out with us and see what we're talking about. So let's get back to business and talk about our special guest. One, she's a native of Las Vegas. Yes, we big up our natives. Yes. Number two, she's a poet. And I can't wait to find out and see where she began this process. But last but not least, she is a singer, she's a songwriter, and a performer. So you guys, please put your hands together and welcome my special guest, Miss Ona Carr.
Hi, everybody.
How are you, my dear?
I am awesome. I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, and thank you for saying yes to come onto my platform.
Thank you
I
for inviting me.
appreciate you. Oh, you are more than welcome. So, you know what? We're just going to get down to business. Usually I have a little bit of a order, but because you sent me this particular beautiful song, it's called Mona Lisa. I want to find out because it talks to, from my perspective, listening to it, it talks about the love that initially you didn't have for yourself, but God had for you, and how it made you smile, the love that God provided for you. Can you tell me the catalyst for that song and what made you put it together?
Okay, so as a young girl, I was never called my name. I was identified as Blackie. And so for a long time, I thought I was ugly based on the fact that no one ever told me, you're beautiful, you're pretty, you're worth something. No one ever told me that. Even in relationships, no one ever told me that I was beautiful. I was always hidden in the relationship, or nobody really like put me on on their side like I would do them. So it was like I never really had that worth about myself. And I just felt like the picture, if you ever know about the picture, the drawing of Mona Lisa, it wasn't looked at as an beautiful picture. It was kind of like, and people kind of, but it's one of the most valuable pictures of all time. And so how I got the song is I just literally thought about how that picture was looked at, but in hindsight, one of the most valued, even though in the beginning when it was drawn, it was not looked at as something beautiful, how it gained its value through time. And so that's how God kind of showed me, like, trusting him and just loving him, he showed me my value through time. And so no matter what no one says, I know that I am that Mona Lisa. And daily I look at myself in the mirror and I know that I'm worth something, and I know that I'm beautiful, and I know that I'm just loved, and because I love myself. And so that's kind of where the catalyst of Mona Lisa came from, just knowing my worth, knowing my beauty through what people may not look at as beautiful, but God sees beauty.
I absolutely love that. I think all of us in some form or fashion goes through that, where we were looking for outside validation, and then we realize it's the inside validation. Once you have inside validation, then the outside starts to validate, because we're a mirror of what we see. But I think it's beautiful that you were able to craft that and acknowledge that, because you're helping someone you may not know, or someone may have came and said something to you, but you're helping someone through that song, because that's higher elevation. Because, hey, look how beautiful you are. So I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for sharing that. So let's just dive in and talk about one of the things I did mention about you is being a poet. And one of the things I found out that you began writing at 3 or at age 3 or the third grade, one of them.
Third grade.
Third grade.
Yeah.
So we know a lot of times when things like that happen so young, that's a gift that was given to you. What was the point that pushed you or gave you that initiative to say, I want to begin writing? Because third grade, that's young.
I, I think for me, it was a challenge. Like a lot of people, I love to read. So just hearing words rhyme, and then even back in the day, just listening to rap artists, like the age of coming up of rap, just hearing that, the hip hop, like, just all that was like, oh my gosh, I can do that too. And so I used to try to freestyle a lot. I used to love Roxanne Shante, so I used to try to freestyle a lot. And so that became my motivation. So in class, I turned every assignment into a poetry assignment. So anytime it was a story, whatever it was, I would actually write a story in poetry and complete a research, whatever it was, I did it in poetry. And so my teachers always like kind of fond of it. And I had actually one teacher in 7th grade, excuse me. Sorry, went
You're
down the
fine.
road. But I had a teacher in 7th grade who actually stole a book that I wrote. She kept all of my poetry for 1 year and told me she would give it back to me, and took all of it and actually took off with it. And I cried because I literally trusted her with my work. And she was like, oh, you write wonderful. I'm going to turn it into a book. And I literally had over 100 poems, and she took it. Don't know what she did with it to this day, but she took everything I wrote that year. She took it.
So let's flip that. That alone should tell you that you had talent if someone wanted to take something that you created and do whatever it was with it. But that shows that you had a talent, and she recognized that at a very early age.
Yes, I mean, I thank God for the gift. I just always wanted to find a way to express myself, because I think growing up, learning how to communicate, that was the best way I could communicate, is through the art of rhyming. And so I was like the first girl battle rapper but I wasn't doing it the right way then, positive. It was more negative than positive back then. But I wanted to always like shine with rhyming words. And so that was my first niche. But the performing part of it, I didn't come into the performing part of it until I saw this one girl. I went to the West Las Vegas Cultural Arts Center where they would do Friday night poetry with Keith. And I was like, who is this girl? And the way she was so bold with it, like she just came out the woodworks. Like I said, oh, I want to perform like her. And to this day, me and her are really good friends, and the community knows her very well. That is Bliss.
Oh, Miss Tar Manor.
She was my inspiration to performing. She still probably to this day don't even know. Like that's the first person I ever saw so bold with it, like a female, because I used to watch slam poetry with Saul Williams, but as a female, that was one of the first people I saw. Like I said, I'm gonna perform like her one day. And so I just began to like come out of my comfort zone, because it's not an easy thing. Performing it, you can read, reading poetry and performing art. The art of poetry is two different things. Reading it, you read it, people feel it, but the performance part is the real effect of it, where you can really get the emotions out. So it's a whole different thing. But I'm grateful for just having the gift and allowing what I get and what God gives me and give it to others. And a lot of it is my story and things that I've been through.
Yes. I love the fact that you acknowledged another woman to be that inspiration for you. Number two, I love the fact that you acknowledge that it's a form of communication for you when you could not communicate a different way. We're definitely going to dive back into the aspect of poetry, but now we're going to turn the tables and talk about music. Music has turned me all the way out, honey. I love me some music, okay? It's a mood stabilizer. It can get me up, it can knock me down. It's all those different things. There's no set point. So I say all that to say, can you identify a song that has either blessed you, distracted you, or provided lessons? Now, before you answer, there's some rules to this, honey.
Ooh.
So if you can sing, I need you to sing your throat box out. If you can rap, I need you to come hard in the paint. You got to do it. But if you cannot do either one of those, I need you to say it bold. I need you to say it with passion. I need it, when they say in the street stands 10 toes down, I need to be able to feel it. So we'll go back. We'll go back to the original. Distraction, blessings, or lessons. Can you identify a song?
Blessing. I need thee, oh, I need thee every hour. I need thee, oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee.
Woo! Yes, honey. Yes, yes. And tell me why you select this particular song.
Because no matter what I go through, I know, like, even with at a point in my life where I was super depressed, not really knowing how to come out of the depression, trials and tribulations, no matter what. Every time I sing that song, even as a kid, not even really knowing what the words meant, just wanting to sing like Mother So and So, now realizing what those words really mean. Like, I can't do it on my own. So, God, I really need you. And I'm coming to you with an open heart, and I'm coming to you with everything that I'm going through, and I'm coming to you literally just laying it, giving it all to you. I'm coming to you because I need you to get through this in order to be where you want me to be. And that's what that song means for me.
Wow.
That's man.
I love it. It's like from what you're giving me, it's like I surrender it all to you so you can help guide me. You can provide the steps that I need to come up out of this.
Yes,
Beautiful.
definitely.
Thank you for singing. Thank you for singing. Yes. So let's.
I never really sing like that. But yeah.
Well, you know what? We're going to bless that and we got it caught in real time, honey. Okay. Well, let's talk about you being a mentor to our babies. I say our babies, our young teens to young adults. What is the passion that pulls you to pour into them consistently?
Okay, so the passion for that is I was sold into adoption at 2 years old. And at 14, the woman that adopted me put me out by gunpoint. So I've been on my own since I've been 14 years old. On the streets, trying to figure it out, learning different things. Like, people be calling me the jack of all trades, but they don't know that was survival for me on the streets back then, learning how to do hair and everything like that. So the biggest thing for me is no one told me when I was 14, don't do this. If you do this, this is going to happen. If you do this, this is going to be the consequence behind it. Hey, maybe you should think about your future. Like, no one taught me that. I literally learned trial and error. And I always tell everyone, I had a community of different women. So I guess you can say that I had like a lot of different hats that were given to me through different people. So I learned how to be soft with this woman. I learned how to be uh, kind of, a little aggressive with this woman. And every woman taught me something different, whether good or bad. But I learned different throughout the community by watching other people. But no one ever took me and said, hey, let me guide you, let me help you mature. So I'm literally still, even as now, still learning, but I'm watching like the better parts now, instead of all the negative that I used to watch. But I want to give that back to the young people, because even as a young person, just knowing that you have access to someone you can trust. I didn't really trust people. One, I was pushed out of a door where you should have taken me in and covered me. So I didn't trust that somebody really loved me enough genuinely to cover me. And then two, I was molested, which is why I was thrown out. So at the end of the day, two people that I trusted, I couldn't get that from now. But children and youth should be able to say, I can actually, okay, I'm outside. But two people, you should be able to trust somebody genuinely enough to say, I'm comfortable with, even if I can't go to my parents, there's somebody I know I can trust and they're going to lead me in the right direction without trying to harm me. And that's why I give back to the youth, because some youth, some parents are a little harder than others. And then some parents, hey, parents are parents. Kids, sometimes we just don't trust our parents. We trust them, but we trust them to an extent because we don't think they've been through nothing,
That part.
But at the end of the day, I want to be able to be in the community where if they say, well, I don't have nowhere to go, I do have somewhere to go, because not only is this person going to say the right thing and try to lead me in the right direction, she's not going to give me just a cliche to it. She's going to give me real life issues. She's going to give me real life, hey, if you do this, if you do that, you may end up in juvenile. If you do that, you may end up in prison. If you do that, you may not, you may not can come back from that. So I try to give the real. I try to give the real, because nobody really gave me the real. I got a whole bunch of cliche growing up based on church. Well, you shouldn't be around. Nobody said, well, if you love hard, you may get your heart broken. If it just was, don't get pregnant. Don't get, it wasn't the real. Like, so I'll give the real. I love giving the real to the young people and helping them where somebody didn't help me.
So, with you being said, or what you saying that, have you been able, or can you share with us a particular situation without disclosing the child's name where they were hurting really bad and they felt like they had no one to come to, and you actually sat down, you gave them the real and say, hey, here's the long-term consequences of your behavior? Were they able to get on the right road? Can you share a particular time?
Well, I'll just share a particular person who's still in my life to this day. I love her to death. Her mother was shot execution style, and she was moved out here to Las Vegas, her and her sisters, and her uncles that took custody of her, they only wanted, like most, they got the Social Security check. They was good, but she was always in the street. And at the time I was 21, I had two children, and I just would see her smoking on the streets, just hanging out late nights, nobody, no adults. And I prayed about it. I was like, I got my own two kids. I really don't know. I'm still young myself, still trying to figure it out. But the heart just kept saying, God, if somebody don't say nothing to her, she's gonna end up in a whole position she don't want to be in. And I said, but God, I'm only 21. But it was like the heart pull. And so I remember going to her and her sisters. I didn't leave none, I had all three. And I brought them into my house and I said, look, I can never replace your mother. But what God has put on my heart is all I can do is try to show you how to be a better woman, about yourself, and know a little more about yourself than being on the streets trying to get to know yourself. I did that already. So if I can help you in some type of way, my door is open. And if you want to stay here, I'll go file for custody so you can stay here. And only one out of the three decided, you know what, maybe she can help me a little bit better. And she asked, could she come? And I went and fought for her. and took her family to court. Mind you, I'm not a family member, but I took them to court. I won custody. And to this day, she has a master's in social work, and she is also a community helper in the community. And she's in my life still to this day. Like, I helped her with college, and I told her, you can go to college, you can be something, you can be somebody. Where at one point she was told she wouldn't be nobody and she would be on the street, like, and doing things like they thought the rest of the family was showing her how to do. And I told her, no, you can be something different. You don't have to be that generation. You can be a different generation. Start your own legacy. And her son is one of the top basketball players right now. And like, it's just dope to see her, like, how she's grown. And I remember the 13-year-old girl that was hanging out and smoking, 13, but now to see her, she's very, she loves the people in the community. She's a giver. She graduated from UNLV. She's one of the alumni and one of the donators at UNLV. Like, she is dope. And when I see her, I just be like, from that person to this person, the person who didn't want to go to school. And I used to be like, nope, we're going to get up, we're going to go to school, and we're going to educate ourselves. And just to see her now, just to know that that girl didn't think nobody loved her. And then just to say, you know what, someone loved me enough or even looked at me enough to say, let me be there for you.
I love that. I feel like you've broken a cycle. Um, and I think people just talk about generational cycles, but we can break cycles in many ways. Even though she was not of your blood, she was still part of your village. And that heart tug was from God and say, listen, you can pour in because you knew more than anybody because of your experience and what has happened. And because of that, you get to see the fruits of your labor, excuse me. And not only that, it's possible. And she is an example of that. And from what you're saying, she goes out and she's doing the same thing and pouring into the community. So I think this is my perspective when we do have those challenges in life, because we all do in some form or fashion. Our job when we rise above is now to be able to identify and say, hey, I've been there, not in a forceful way. Because one thing you did say, you gave them the opportunity. All of them did not agree. One said yes. And because she said yes, look where she's at. May I ask about the other two? How are they doing?
They're both passed away young. Unfortunate situations for both of them. They just chose a different path of life, and they still were in and out of my life. Frequently. I was still trying to pull on them throughout life. But yeah, they're both passed away young ages.
Well, we bless you for what you have done, and the seed that you have sown. It not only benefit her, it benefit her son, and it benefits anybody else around her to say, listen, you don't have to go on this path. But more than anything, I believe everybody gets to choose. We cannot force anybody to make a difference. And I think sometimes we get caught up in that spiral. Oh, you can't see this. All we can do is create and show other options and bless it and move about your business. Because if someone is not ready, you're wasting your time and their time. Just love them from a distance and help where you can, and not take all of your soul and your energy away. So
that's true. That's one thing I learned. Like, you can plant the seed, and it may not even be for you to water it. It may be for you to just plant the seed.
Wait, that's a pause moment. That's a pause moment. I have pause moments, and
Okay.
you just gave one, okay? You said it, and I will never forget that. Sometimes you're only there to plant the seed, but not to water it. Wow. That's wisdom. Okay, I have pews too. They're invisible pews. You have different levels, all of them going, ooh, girl, because that is amazing. No, seriously, if you think about it, I know I have been guilty of planting a seed and thinking I had to water it. And I think the real space is being able to identify what part you need to play, because sometimes you don't have to play both. Sometimes you just need to plant that seed, as you say. So Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, you're great. Like it's just, I think when I think about it, hindsight now, sometimes we try to change people, and we think because we're in their lives that I'm meant to be that person that you need to do this, that, and the third. But I'm recognizing it even through situations now, like the example that we set, just continue to be the example. I may plant the seed, but it may not be for me to water it. Some other example may be to water, and it may be just this season of water it. Summertime water, wintertime, whatever the time is, that's your time. But it don't mean because you planted the seed that the rest of the village don't help it grow. That's why it took us all as a community of Black people to even come together to help the community grow. It's the village thing. So when we start thinking I'm the only person and I'm the only, like, I'm the shepherd, and all these sheep is mine, and I don't got, no. It took the sheepdog, it took everybody to get to keep them all in one place and keep them in one unification. So just because I did my part, but I'm not upset because you do yours, because your part is still going to help better the sheep.
come on, say that. Oh, yes, honey, you get me pumped up. The spirit gives me this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine.
It's really important. And so as a community, like what hurts me is like some people feel like because it's not my identification, I don't want to help you. I thought of it first. Well, we all can have group meetings. We all can bring the kids together. Bring your kids to my kids. You ain't got all the answers, and I don't have all the answers. So it's like, no, I don't want my kids over there because I don't know if you know what you're talking about. I don't want my kids over there because I don't know. Like, it's a battle now in the community where we don't need it to be. We all should be there for each other. Let's all build up the kids. Everybody should be on the west side. Everybody should be on the north side. Everybody should be doing things in the community with everyone. This leader should be with this leader, because together it's going to break all those yokes. Two is better than one. So when we start thinking I'm the only one, that's where we start losing. And then we wonder why we ain't got a packed out house full of kids that should or need help, because this kid can't come over here because you don't want this kid over there getting to what you think is the loss of identity, when they're actually getting more identity based on the two heads coming together. So
Yeah.
I think as a community, we just need to work more together and stop thinking because I didn't think of it, or I'm gonna do one like yours and see what my turnout goes. It ain't about your who come in to your turnout or the cliquish part of it. It's about how can I better help serve, and that's, I don't do the clicks. I don't do none of that. How can I better help serve? Because my gift and your gift put together gonna be no joke, and we're gonna be able to get more than lose versus trying to be doing it by ourselves, trying to do it by ourselves. So I think we should do more in the community as far as leaders, like help each other, not be mad because this person thought of it and you didn't think of it, or even if they did think of it, go see what you can do to help build it.
Well, I
Let's keep
think,
each other.
we have a village, but it's layers to this village. And I think the maturity of the village will set a lot of people free, meaning, okay, regardless of what that person looks like, they have something that will benefit my child. And truly, if you have a love for your child, you're going to place your child in a place that has that connection. Like, I didn't brought my child here, there, but for some reason, she's the one that connect with my child and brings the best out of my child. And I think when we have that mentality and we really focus in, it will make a difference.
It's funny you said that, because I've been, and it's no shade to a lot of y'all churches. I love y'all. Y'all know I do. But I've been turned away or been told certain things. I'm dressed down now because I'm in school, and of course there's a business aspect to it. But anybody in the community knows that I love colors. I wear colorful hair, blue hair, red hair. I love colors. And a lot of the churches would literally like not put me on program or invite me and not invite me back based on the fact I'm a little colorful. I'm a little more eclectic than most. And so with that being said, I've literally not gotten calls back or being told what to wear, how to come in, how to communicate, how to do. And it's like, look, let me be free, because my freeness is what's drawing the child to say, you know what? I'm watching you. Now I can better understand. I can better this, or I can better that. Or I'm coming into a place and it's like, oh, is that her? Do I want her saying anything to my kids? Or, she don't have on a suit. So am I sure I want this girl with all these colors? Like, it's been like a bittersweet moment with community, doing things, but I'm more or less don't care. And not to say it in that sense, but I feel like I'm gonna be bold with who I am based on who God told me to be, and I'm going to tell the truth. And with the truth is what's drawing basis the covered up moment. We can put lipstick on, we could put makeup on. I purposely didn't put makeup on today because I want people to know you don't always gotta. You can uncover.
That's
We
right.
can do this all day long. We can put the layers on. We can cover it up. We can cover up that cry. We can cover up those tears. But when the truth is what really grabs, you
Yes.
can fix it up, but the truth is what really grabs. And I'm not saying it to say like nobody else is out there affecting these young people. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just be your authentic, genuine self. Don't try to be something in front of them that you know you're not behind them doors. That's
Hmm.
that's really what's important to me. I don't tell you I love you to your face and then behind the doors I'm treating you like something else. I love you in person. I love you in private.
That's right.
I'm genuine about that, and those are things that's either gonna show. They say what's in the dark always comes to light. It's going, you never know who's watching you. I did something once and I didn't even know people was watching. It was in my inbox like, girl, if you don't take that off of Facebook, just in my own self, like, oh, they think they talk. Let me tell them, not recognizing, people these young people, you got more people young watching you than the older people. So it's like, take it down, like, be yourself, but be respectful.
Yeah.
Be, know that people, we say, well, I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be a mentor. But sometimes just little things you do will actually help inspire somebody. You
Mm.
never know. Like that hat you wearing, inspiring me to wear one tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know. Little things will inspire someone who may not have nothing to be inspirational about. Just
Mm.
those things, the smile on your face. I may not want to smile, but just watching your smile makes me want to smile today. We never
Oh,
know the effect that we have on people based on our character. I have a thing, character, conduct, commitment. Your
yes.
character, who you say you are, should line up with your conduct and how you move with what you say you're committed to. If you're a community leader, your character, I'm giving, I'm loving, I'm trustworthy. Those characteristics should line up with how you move out there in the streets with the community.
Now,
Not
now,
just because you're trying to get seen for the paper.
now you telling the truth on that. And I've seen some things that I'm like, 2 + 2 is 4. You making it 7. So something is not quite right. However, we still want to put our energy towards high elevation because it's always going
Always.
to be that. But our job is to put our energy in the highest form so we can make the largest difference with these babies.
And that's the thing. I want to make a difference in this community and be effective in the community with my truth, with my consistency. Because that's really what it's about, to be a consistent. I can say one week I'm here and then I'm not there, and the next week, and it's gonna confuse a lot of people. But consistency really is key. I'm not gonna tell you I'm gonna be there for you, and then I'm not gonna show up, and then kids is looking like. Consistency really is key. You got to be consistent, especially with this generation.
Yeah.
Any type of inconsistency will send them right back to where they was at. And it's better. I could deal with the homie because the homie said he gonna give me $20, and the homie gave me $20. But here you told me you was gonna come sit down and give me 20 minutes, and I couldn't get 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
we got to be consistent.
I do. I definitely agree with that. And I do agree with us being authentically who we are to be able to show them to be authentically who they are. It is a symbiotic relationship, and we want them to benefit from our experience, our knowledge, And also, too, I say this all the time. Sometime I'm the teacher, sometime I'm the student. Because I have learned from these babies. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. But you have to be open to that. It's so many adults be like, you can't tell me nothing, or you haven't lived my life. I may not have lived your life, but I can contribute from my perspective as well. So, anyway, I don't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but I just thought.
love it. I love it. I
Oh,
love it.
well, thank you. I just wanted to give those multiple perspectives. And now let's dive back into music. Girl, yes. Can you identify a song that you were able to purchase on your own? Like, for example, sometimes we get money for Christmas, money working, cleaning, whatever. And you like, ooh, this is the song I want to get. Nobody gave you no directions, no influence. You did it all on your own.
I got in trouble for it.
Uh-oh.
Must I say it again? I said it before. Move out the way as I'm coming through the door. Me, heavy, as light as a rock. God's watch, even some of the girls' clock. Step back, this ain't that type of party. No reply if you ain't somebody. Get out of my face, don't want to hear no more. If you hate rejection, don't try to score. That was one of the albums, MC Lyte.
Yes, Lyte As A Rock, right?
Yes, I used to look. I couldn't wait to cut my hair into that side bob. Oh my! I got in trouble buying that album, and that was back in the day when we had to go buy the records at the store.
Yes.
And my mom, actually, she was going to buy a album. She loved like Johnny, what was it, Johnny Taylor and Coco. She loved the blues type stuff. So we went to the go get her, and she said, "You can get one." And I'm like, "Okay." And I go over there and I see the box. I'm like, "Yes." And I love between her, MC Lyte, Roxanne Shante, which by the way, I had the honor of opening up for her. I was like, one of the people I really love. I had the honor of opening up for her when she came out here to speak when her movie came out. But those were the people, her and then Queen Latifah. Those was my three. You couldn't tell me nothing about them back in the day. Like them, the best rappers. They dope and they positive. And like you couldn't tell me nothing. So
Yes.
yeah.
Well, think about Queen Latifah, what she had. UNITY.
But
UNITY. Oh, go ahead. You said something.
mine was ladies first. That's what caught me.
Okay.
Ladies
Okay.
first.
Give me a
That
little
was
bit
it.
of it.
Let me see. Oh Lord, let me see. I can't remember right now. I just went blank.
You just remember the title, huh?
Yeah. Where it say a woman could bear you, break you, take you. Now it's time to rhyme. Can you relate to us? No, that was money part. A sister dumb enough to make you holler and scream. So that I try to think of the I used to know the whole thing, but I'm just really blank right now because I just sit here like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that was one of my favorite songs. I used to try to sing it, and I used to do the little pose, and I used to be like this, and thought I was you could tell me I'm from Africa. Like you could tell me like back in the day. But yeah, that was one of her, those three were the women I wanted to be like. And then later on, getting into, what's her name? Lauryn Hill, getting into her a little bit, um, but more for her singing because her voice is so raspy. So I
Yes.
love the way she sings. Now the joy of my world is Zion. That was my thing with her. That was
Love that.
I love her voice. Oh my gosh. But yeah, love
Let's
music.
let's talk about this. So I'm telling you how much I love music, and I am not a singer nor a performer, but I still have a love and I will still sing from my perspective. Let's talk about the joy you get with performing on stage. How does it put you into another energy source? How can you relate to that? What do you do to prepare to get ready to perform?
I pray a lot. God, give me the words. Allow it to be authentic from the time that you gave me to write it and the feeling that I was in, to be able to still consistently go back to that moment and give them what you gave me in that moment. Those are the things that I pray about, because some performers, it becomes so consistent that it becomes boring. And that's
Mm.
something I never want to be, is you know how they're gonna do it, so to the point where it's been like, okay, I already know how they're about to do this piece. So even if you do it over and over again, like, there should still be some excitement to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I pray about every time, even if it's something like I want to get a piece out really, really bad. Like, this is a piece that I'm in this season that I have to continuously do because I want the people to hear it. You want it to come out different every time, but you still want it to be effective. So anytime I get on any platform, it's really the authentic. I want to be as authentic in the moment. And there was a piece that I did like years ago where it was talking about my molestation, and it was hard to do that piece, only because I didn't know how the people would think about it, based on it was a pastor, a minister that did it. Um, and I
Wait,
didn't
wait.
out.
I need to pause, and I need clarity. You said it was a minister that did it.
Yeah, yeah, it was a minister, and like, keeping secrets or hiding, because everybody wants you back. Even back then, sweep it under the rug. Don't talk about what happens in the house. Just even then, trying to tell that story and being, not being told that you're not telling the truth, or that's not that person, that's the minister, he wouldn't do this, or he has this type of position. And then I met another young lady who had went through the same situation, and
By
nobody
the same
believed.
person? By the
It was a
same
different
person?
person. It was a different person, but mine was a father figure. Hers was a godfather. Two different, but ministers who, because it's a father figure, I don't believe you. That man wouldn't. And for her too, he was known. He was such a known person that nobody believed her either, to where it drew her to drugs. I was drawn to alcohol. She did drugs. And
Mm.
so I took her in as well. And when she came to me, it was like she was so torn and she didn't have trust. And at this point in her mind, she felt it was good to even manipulate the situation because nobody believed it. So I might as well now take the situation and use it to my gain. And she thought it was cool. And I had to say, baby girl, you can't heal like that.
That's right.
You can't heal. The only way you're going to heal from this is to really let go. Let it go. Start getting counseling. Really not acknowledging that this happened. Not that it happened to a point where I started manipulating the whole situation, because it was so messed up. But at the end of the day, that was a piece. I took her story and my story, and I put them into a storyline. And it was such a hard piece to do, because everybody was like pausing to hear it. And, oh, who's she talking about? I wonder who she talking about. But that was one of the pieces that really kind of like, man, I got to do this. And I prayed about it and prayed about it and prayed about it, even to the performance of it. How many times should I do it? Can I do it here? Is it something that I should let out based on who I'm around? It's young women here, but I need to so for a season, I did that everywhere I went, and I got a lot of backlash behind it. But at the end of the day, you have to kind of like, that's my biggest thing getting on the stage. What should I do? Which pieces should I do based on the audience, or not just because they just want me to do something, but what can I give them based on the audience? So it's a sometimes joy, sometimes it's a tearful moment for me, because what I know I have to give them, young women especially, they definitely not it's an unexpected situation for me every time I get on any platform, because sometimes I'd be like, hey, and then sometimes it's like, and depending on where I'm at, that's what I give you,
Yes.
and I'm never, I don't want to say I'm a different person. I just feel like I'm more bold because, like I said, it's my comfort zone of communication.
Yes.
So now I can fully give you the fullness of what God has given me comfortably in that communication.
Yes, you're just being authentically bold. Okay. And it's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Amen. All right.
With that being said, let's just, I have one more question regarding music. Well, I'll say two, but as a child, it's been plenty of songs that I've sang and I'm like, ooh, yes, I'm getting it. And then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. As I got older, wait a minute, they were talking about that. I thought it was something else. Oh my gosh. Can you identify a song that you sung throughout your childhood and maybe some of your adulthood? And now you realize what it is. You're like, I've been singing it like this and it's something else.
Whip appeal.
Okay. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I didn't know what the song. I think I just kind of loved the way Babyface used to sing, and really listening to the words. Like he was talking about, like being sprung, so to speak. Like I'm not that person. Like but really identifying, like you got that whip appeal on me. Like you got that. And really knowing what he was talking about. Like, oh my gosh, that's what he was talking about. It'd be like, as a young person, like it was just whatever you want, it's all right with me. I was just sing the song and I really recognized. But now there's like, now I listen to lyrics. I really listen to lyrics. I don't care how good the beat is. I'm listening to the lyrics. Like, they was talking about, they're talking about sex. Like really, so I really listen to it now versus what I did as a kid. And I used to get in trouble a lot because, NWA was my thing too. I got in trouble a lot as a kid because I love rap. And so as a kid, I would just be rapping. My mama came in there one day, hit the record button. You have to record, I was recording it. I was still singing at the same time. She came in there like, girl, I'm about to break your neck. Like, this is not.
Give me a song that you really love off of that album or that particular.
I don't think I can say it on this.
Listen, we grown folks. This is not for children. Give me a little bit.
So that would be why I won't anymore. I think that my favorite song was kind of like "F the Police,"
Okay. Oh
wow! I used to
wow!
walk around like, because I was like, back then I wanted to be a Black Panther too, so it was like always kind of like black people this, black power that, black this, black that. And when that song came out, I used to walk around like pushing everybody in class, like F the police, F the police. Like they used to be like, "Girl, you got some anger issues," but that song was like really powerful to me. Like at the point of where a lot of getting pulled over for no reason, things like that was like going on, being beaten on and things. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm feeling that. I experienced it a year ago, like being pulled over because they thought I was from California, but I was driving a rental. And I posted it on my TikTok. It's on my TikTok. They literally snatched my phone, turned my recording off, and threw me and my husband on the car, like literally threatened us. And it was a bad experience to go through, but just to even know that, like, okay, that's why they did that song. Like, it ain't all of them, but some of them just be really overdoing it. Like, but yeah, that was one of my favorite songs back in the day. Like, that's
Well, you know what? I think what I really love that you acknowledge is not all of them. We know it's not all of them. It's really some great that people are out there serving, really making a difference. And then we have the ones just like anything else in life that you like, okay, you cutting up, you need to go have a seat, several seats,
right. You need counseling.
Yes,
You
yes.
need a therapist. Yeah.
Definitely that. Definitely that. Well, You know, I have been so enamored by your story, the things that you've shared. It's been really interesting. I
Thank you.
cannot think of, you are definitely uniquely you. I can't see anybody else being or trying to be you. It's just who you are. And with that being said, if someone wants to get in contact with you, wants to listen to any of your music, how would you provide? Can you provide your social media handles or any contact information so they can reach out if they choose to? Maybe they want to do something with you, whatever the case may be. Can you share?
I am GodzPoet is my GodzPoet1, GodzPoet1 at gmail.com is how you can email me for any event, youth wise or community wise. You can hit me up for that. GODZ_POET is my Instagram and my TikTok, which is probably most pages that I'm on right now, is those two pages. You can also, my phone number is attached, my email is attached to those two as well. I'm trying to think anything else. Yeah, any event. Those are the main ways to contact me. I will be connecting with someone in the community. Her name is Brandy. She has a paint store off over there in the Meadows Mall. We're gonna do an event called Teen Talk soon. We're gonna actually get some of the people in the community, and we're gonna have a paint day with the young teens, and we're gonna actually do a without parents involved type thing because they need an open safe space. So Teen Talk is really to kind of let them do their paint thing, release some stress, and get out and talk about what they really going through in life, and really get some real genuine people on the panel to really give them genuine life. And so look forward to Teen Talk with me and Brandy at Paint Drops over there inside the Meadows Mall. So look forward to that as well, and look forward my album. If you type in GODZPOET in Google, you can Google me, y'all.
Woo!
You can find all of my music on Spotify, on YouTube, and I'm getting ready to release a new album soon. Look forward to it coming up in January, you guys. Yeah, it's a lot of things that's coming up for me. And I do fashion too, so I'm doing a fashion show soon as well. Upcycling, y'all. I upcycle. I sew. Don't nobody know. I do a lot of sewing, and
Wow.
I like creativity. So I plan on doing just the comfort zone of me. Um, we oftentimes we don't really know how beautiful we are with the clothes that we're in. And I remember feeling uncomfortable at a time where they wanted me to wear suits to church based on the shape of my body. And so the whole thing of the fashion show is to be comfortably you, being you, and feeling good in your own skin with what you're wearing. So I'm gonna just take some thrift store stuff and I'm gonna upcycle and I'm gonna give me some models, and y'all, we're gonna show y'all the eclectic side of GodzPoet. So look forward to that as well.
I love it. I love it. And we'll make sure we'll put all that information down in the description box so they can just click on that as well. Before we get out of here, I would like for you to give the world a song if you that express who you are or it conveys what you represent. So if you had the opportunity to dedicate a song to the world, what song would you provide?
Um, it would be Mona Lisa. It would.
Can you give us a little bit of that?
Used to lay in my bed at night, cry in my eyes, wondering why no one wanted me. It was impossible, couldn't see clear, so let my words go. So many issues, mental, spiritual, blame it continued, weighing me down. Then one day you picked me up, wiped my tears, put my head up, looked in the mirror. I told myself I was beautiful, no matter how dark my skin was. It was all because you showed me who I am, a kingdom heiress, and now I'm conquering, cause you gave me unconditional love unconditional. You never let me go, even when I doubted who I was in you, and you came true. So Lord, I thank you. Unconditional love, unconditional love.
Yes,
So that's one
yes.
favorite in real lifetime song I'm living through right now. So, you
Wow.
know, I've been going through a lot. You know, I lost my dad in July, my brother
I'm
in August,
sorry.
and I've been going through some changes in partnership for about 4 months now, and I'm praying and just God, like depression is really real. I haven't dealt with severe depression in a long time, so that's been the song that I've kind of been singing lately as I've experienced. Like you never know when I write stuff, I never know when I'm gonna need it again. Like
Yeah.
you, the moment you think it's for somebody else, but sometimes it's really for you in a moment where you need to be. And I'm just thanking God that even with what I'm going through now, that He's allowing me to have positive people around me in the community, speaking life into the situation, and as well as me speaking life into myself. Because if I could be honest, like a few weeks ago, I wasn't in that place. I was
Mm,
in a place of feeling like, well, God, hey, maybe, but then God said, no, I still have work for you to do. And I
yes.
need you to stay strong. And even when you feel weak, still come to me so that I can replenish back into you where you need to be, because there's somebody else that needs to hear your story, and you're still beautiful. You still love. I love you. And just keep continuing to look in the mirror and tell yourself that no matter how somebody else make you feel, or try not to, I don't need the validation from the individual. I just know that God has caused me to be as best as I can be, and I can continue to get up every day and be the best woman I know that I can try to be. And either they're going to love me for who I am or not love me at all. But I'm
Mhm.
never going to be unauthentic about who God has chose me to be. So I just thank God for just that song, because it's really been helping in my own place of
I
my
love it.
heart.
Well, what I believe the future of healing will be is sound. It will be music. When you are at a certain space, you're going to have a certain music or a certain sound that's prescribed to you, and that sound will elevate your spirit. So let that continue to bless you. I wish you nothing but the best. Before we get out of here, I talk about the journey and the destination. The journey is where we learn and where we grow. And sometimes the journey is uncomfortable, but the destination is where we celebrate. We got to have a space. Sometimes people work, 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 and they never celebrate. So they never really get to appreciate parts of their self. So we got to have that time where we're like, yes, yes, we did it. But the key to it all is to get back into that journey so we can continue to elevate, continue to grow. On this platform, anytime I have my men, I salute them. My women, I bow. So I bow to you, beautiful young lady. And in addition to that, I always allow my guests to have the last word. So last word goes to you, my dear.
Continue to look yourself in the mirror daily, give yourself affirmation about who you are and where you're going. And even if it don't work out that day, doesn't mean it's not going to work out. And then it may or may not be for you. But having a goal, write down the vision, make it plain, and strive forward. It doesn't make you a failure because you don't accomplish it when you want to accomplish it. Accomplishments come with just the vision of where I want to be and where you want to go. So with that being said, continue to just keep uplifting yourself. Let's encourage one another daily. Call someone that you haven't called in a while and just say, I love you and I'm here for you. And just continue to keep growing, identifying who you are, loving who you are, and maintaining who you are in consistency. Be blessed.
Wow. I could not listen. That's the best way to end this. I thank you so very much for taking your time out to support my platform. You guys, please put your hands together and thank my special, beautiful guest, Miss Ona Carr.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll talk to you soon. And as I say to all my people, I'll see you out here in these Las Vegas streets.
Yes.
Thank you.